Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Welcome to NGS Division C matchup here tonight with Cael'thas Can't Spell taking on Almost Legends Gold. And tonight with me, I have the amazing, the chill, Goon. Goon, how you doing, buddy? Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I know we were talking a little bit with some whiskey, some wave clear. You know what? That's what we're doing here. And some two really great teams going to square off for us here this evening. I'm going to go ahead and let them know that we are ready whenever. And then, so what we'll do here is we'll jump over to the map picks and bans. So we have Cael'thas Can't Spell is the home team this evening. They opted for first pick. They did win the coin flip, and they went ahead and banned Brax's Holdout and Volskaya, and almost went ahead and banned Garden of Terror and Battlefield of Eternity, and they are taking us to Cursed Hollow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very snowball. It can be a snowbally map at times, depending on the draft and how team fights go for you. But like you said, you start out on this map. I think what is it for the first 50 levels? I think or 25, something like that. I think they just make you play this map over and over again as a new player. But yeah, and to your point, Volskaya, like everyone seems to hate that map. The objective really doesn't do a whole heck of a lot until the third the third where you hit level 20. So most team fights post level 20 kind of win you the game anyhow. And Curse Hollow, it's just I'm sorry, not Curse Hollow, but Garden of Terror is the flavor. Last season it was Hanamura Temple that was rotated in. I like Sky Temple. That's one of my favorite maps. But I mean, I like to see that. I'd like to see that in rotation over Braxis. I don't like Braxis Holdout, as most of the people know. That map can just burn in fire for all that I care. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Means nothing. Right, like I'm not gonna lose sleep over somebody hating me, but like knowing that they're indifferent. I guess you make a point there. That's kind of that would bother me. Um, but I guess that map for me would probably be Volskaya. Like Volskaya, like it's like I like to play Sylvanas, so at least like one hero I like to play is decent on that map. But like when it comes to Braxis, even as like an offlaner player, like I don't know, I can win my lane up top, but then your whole four-man just nosedives and you can't do anything at all whatsoever to help, or you lose your advantage up top. So those island maps for sure. Right into the draft. I know you and I were discussing a little bit my favorite part and your favorite part of this game here. So Falstad level 1 is broken again, so we will not be able to see. We might see Falstad, but not that talent at level 1. But Global's particularly good on this map. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. So either I guess we both kind of flex, but our damage deal on our team goes auto attack build even after the rework and the busted talents. When we play, he always goes auto attacks. But getting into the game here, we do see Taunt, presumably Taunt Varian and the Stukov blow up comp getting banned out by the side of Cael'thas can't spell, and then the Hogger and the Chromie, so some meta bans coming out from the side of Almost Legends. We do see Diva going to get picked up first overall. I'm liking this draft already on the side of Cael'thas can't spell, but then to counter that Diva, we saw the Zul'jin and the Brightwing pickup. So global number 1 already up on the board for APG. Or no, ALG, Legends, yeah, ALG. All right, so there's the Uther ban. And to your point, I was thinking maybe they may have picked up the Uther there if they could have into that comp. But Lucio does get the percent based healing, so we might see a Lucio coming out on the side of Cael'thas can't spell. But 2 solid offlaners over there, so they could still run a tank and a healer and just do the triple bruiser comp. But we see a Tassadar and a Johanna pickup here. So a ton of damage coming out from on the side of Almost Legends. It's definitely looking so, but they have 3 blinds on the side of CCS to deal with that Zul'jin. I would presume that Tassadar is going to go to Q build, but Tassadar is very immobile, as well as Zul'jin, so we may expect a Valkyrie from Cassia, and then the Diva and the Sonya leap. So I think, and poor Brightwing's going to have to heal her little tail off here as we get into this game. But to your point, they have a lot of poke and the global on the side of Almost Legends, so they might be able to leave Brightwing in lane. She can kind of hyper shift in and get the heal off for the team fight. But as we step up into this game, we on the left hand side in the blue trunks for Cael'thas can't spell, we have the Dwarf on May, Ulysses on the Diva, Crushinator on Cassia, Eric, Air Ice. I'm sorry. Eric, Ice Rick, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, on the Lily, and Kavlor on that Sonya. And who do we have on the right hand side? The old king in caps. You know he means business. Okay, so we do see this plan here. So a ton of siege is going to come out here between that Tassadar and that Zul'jin. Already getting a tower here, so we do see the rotation come down. Not going to press anything themselves. They're just going to help Ulysses kind of push this lane back out. So I will... Yeah, so we do see charge strikes coming out from Cassia at level 1. That is my preferred talent, but I play mostly auto attackers. Opting for that instead of the Q build, looking to get all of that blind, so they can blind Zul'jin, but they will have the pump up Cassia's damage with all the extra blinds getting provided from the rest of the team here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the nice thing is the auto attack is you can if you're laning as Cassie, you can auto attack a minion and it still splashes, so you can get decent poke damage coming out here. So we do see the Bruiser camp going to get cleared up here in the mid lane. Both teams just rotating at the perfect times to get their camps, as we do in Cursed Hollow. Sony's going to rotate down here. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, nope, you are correct. It looks like Q build. Is that Q build? No, that's trait. Is that trait build, I think? All right, so we... Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know most of the time it was Q build. So we do see Crush. He'll go ahead and get that first channel. A little slow on the rotation from Almost Legends, but it's the first one. They have pressure in the bot lane. Zul'jin did not rotate up the camp, with the Giants is still pushing down here. So catching back up on Soak, well on their way to level 7s here, and not down a whole heck of a lot. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah, but he, like you said, he is powering up. Not even 45 seconds to a minute ago, he had no stacks at U1 Axe. He is now sitting at 6, so he will continue in these team fights to continue that Axe stack, and look to carry into the late game here. Yep. All right, so we do see Ulysses going to go ahead and start on that bottom tower. Going to try and trade what they got earlier in the game from the side of ALG. Yeah, it's very casual. I mean, depending on where you're at and then the leagues and stuff like that, you just see a ton of brawling over this. Everyone's standing there. No one's soaking waves. But no, this is kind of calm, cool, and collected. Like, they're gonna team fight when they actually have to team fight. They're not, YOLO worfing it, for one tribute that really means nothing this early in the game. All right, Hoedown, yeah, is going to pressure up a little bit, but in comes the icing from the May. Out comes a Blizzard to blind it is there. Tens are now online. Great ice wall to block any escape there, but down goes Hoedown. All right, Ulysses does have the Diva mech, so she can zone here. Kavlor just relentless on that Leoric going slam build. They are trading blows here. Which one gets the last kill? Kavlor does back off right before tower shots there. Poor Leo does escape with his life at 300 health, and the second channel and tribute going over to the side of CCS. Yeah, like it's. I guess it's kind of hard. I still think Taz Dingo, me personally, is the better pick between his two ults. But I was in. I think it was a Storm League game, and I think I got called a pleb for taking Taz Dingo. I got called out for taking Taz Dingo because that's the pleb. That's the noob or the pleb talent. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so ALG had to stop halfway down to that boss to clear up that wave that was pushing there as well. They are going to leave Wolfman Jack up here top to push with the boss. Ulysses is going to rotate up here, but they kind of up behind the 8-ball. They should have enough clear. This boss is about half health, so they should have enough time to clear this and rotate down. Now picking at this, Hoedown is awfully low, sub 50 health. Does let's go. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my Storm League teammates. Out comes a Blessed Shield from Johanna trying to get that kill. Out comes the Task Wall. In comes the Condemned. But Sonya is going to be able to spin to win. But unfortunately, that Polymorph will cancel that. She will escape with 500 health. Great Ice Wall coming out. The Blizzard combo right after that. Out comes the Stun. Out comes the Blind. But Crushing gets caught inside that Entomb. Getting shoved back in there with that Black Hole. It does lift. Out comes that Guillotine. The Hyper Shift is going to come out to top off. But that Ball Lightning is doing work in the back line. Out comes the Diva Mech Bomb. Down goes Leoric. Ooh. Yeah, great defense coming out from the side of ALG there. I mean, they were pushing hard. They did get the double kill there, even back up in the sense of experience kill. They are down 1 fort. That's all they're down. Structurally is 1 fort. Retired Hero in the chat. Dax putting in hours. You know it, man. You know it. Just having a good time vibing here with Goon. And Slexia, you look like a husky fisherman. Hey, you know what? It's cold up here in the Northeast. You gotta have that face armor as well. This whack co-caster's carrying me, man. This is the best caster NA right here. All right. right, they are going to try and sniff out this Cant. We might see an invade. Looks like Diva didn't have the Q to rush onto point, but this could be a bad spot. They still have the spell armor here. Out comes the Entomb, and the Guillotine comes out not to connect with anybody. These May Ice Walls are on point. That is 2 members caught in that to disengage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, everyone figured it out. Like, he put out the ice wall and then put the blizzard underneath it, and then it's just like, nope, you're done for. Just mm-hmm. All right, so we do see the dwarf getting a little bit low. May does absolutely live forever. We do see the cops getting popped by Eric Elric. Out comes the hyper shift back onto Hoedown to get that damage done. Down goes Sonya. We do see Bella's going to get the hyper shift. Out comes again, and kaboom! Landing on poor Lily. That poor panda bear. I'm done. I'm done talking about Zul'jin talents. Like, that's it. I like I said, I'm the pleb. Maybe, you know what? I admit it. But no, getting that damage done. So we do see the teams just kind of respectively soaked. 16's now online for both teams. CCS doesn't have to. They do have to defend this one, or the curse will go over to ALG here. They do have the respawns. They should be able to safely poke with the May at least, and the Diva. It did split the team there for a little bit and made King think about canceling that channels, but out comes the ball lightning from the Cassia, getting a ton of value there in the back line. We do see Sonya just chasing that front line, trying to deal with that Sonya. The blind does come out, but out comes the Black Hole Entomb combo. We do see the May Ice Block in there to keep herself alive. Then Unstoppable does get popped by Johanna, but out comes that Guillotine. Does miss Crushinator. Down goes Johanna. Wolfman Jack off the load. Crushinator trading his life. He wasn't afraid. He stood there and owned that kill there, and Avoidance just getting work done on Cassia. All right, absolutely there. But they did have, to your point, they had that macro pressure in the mid. So once they got the Johanna, we did see the other 2 members of ALG. But Wolfpack is going to get caught in between May and the Blizzard there, and down he goes. So that will be in favor of here. We may see ALG. They are going to get this boss here, but they may forego the channel here and just maybe just let this thing ride and clear bot. Yeah, he's fed now. 24 out of 30 stacks on you on Axe, level 18. So really making headway there. Still hold on to 1 fort there. Mid fort on the side of CCS is a little damaged. So structurally wise, they're not too far behind. Experience wise, again, they are neck and neck with CCS. So they can take their time here. And like you said, they don't have to be in all or nothing mode here. Yeah, this one, as you point, we do see Wolfman Jack jumping in here. Does get the healing out, double black hole into that Entomb. We do see the shield get ripped. We do see the ball of lightning gonna get ripped. Sonya awfully low in the back line. We do see Wolfman Jack. Out comes the guillotine. It does chunk Crushinator a little bit. The damage is coming out. Down goes Johanna. Wolfman Jack. Ulysses is in the back. Will pop Diva Mech. Down goes Leoric as well. And another double kill in favor of CCS. Crushinator goes ahead and starts the channel. And this will be the second curse in favor of CCS. Mm-hmm. Oh. Wolfman Jack isn't done, does catch Sonya up in that, but she is going to be able to heal. Out comes the healing from Lily, but it's not going to be enough. That polymorph was just amazing to cancel any sort of self-healing coming out from that Sonya, but Ulysses is trading really hard into Wolfman Jack, but great defense there by the side of ALG. You know, we were calling for maybe an end there, and that was a great defense, you know, 2 for 1 trade in their favor there. Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So we will have catapults spawning every single wave there in that bot lane, to your point. And, you know, boss becomes a win condition. And the boss is up in 40 seconds. And I think we just expect CCS to maybe rip this thing on cooldown at this point in the game. You know what? They had that camp pushing in the mid. I think they could have at least got that fort for free if they had gotten the curse and maybe pressured maybe bot fort or maybe top keep. I think we would have saw at least one keep going down no matter who got the curse there. Blah. Mm-hmm. So, yep. So ALG, fortunately enough for them, it does spawn on their half of the map, right next to where they are actually ripping this boss. But depending on how quickly they take this, they do have the Zul'jin and the Tassadar, so no chance at the invade here. But we will probably see a fight, but this needs to be answered by ALG because they will have a boss backing for the core. I'd like this call. They will all back. They do not need to grab this one. This will be just another first tribute in favor of CCS. And let's see if we can stop this boss in its tracks to get melee range and make it cost its slam to slow it down a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it gives them a little bit more security that, you know, because CCS, I mean, they have to keep down, but they're not going to be able to push for core, I don't think, without at least a wave there. Ooh, and that is a double kill for CCS, and they are not done yet. Ulysses is going to go ahead and chase down Belos, going to use the missiles to slow it down Johanna. She does hit the condemn, and that is just a nervous push by any Johanna player that I know I do it as well. Just kind of push all your buttons and hope you can run out of there, but here comes Crush and Ulysses to push this wave in, and it looks like this might be GG's in Game 1 going over to CCS. 27. 4% was holding on for. Yeah, once Sony went down, it was like that's like a lot of their siege damage, and it was just like, okay, Sony's down. I'm not sure, but they were able to focus it down, and great calls there. You know, it's just like, hey, who does it, right? Am I right? Let's. Oh. Yeah, it's ball lightning just gets so much value in those tight little choke points there, and then like you're worried about the team fight, you're worried about all these other abilities going on, and like that's one of the last things you see bouncing around. You kind of hear it in the background of what's going on, but yeah, just taking a look here at Crushinator, like we said, with that charge strike spill, 74,000 hero damage, pumping out more than Zul'jin. So well done there, healing. Both of these healers doing tremendous amounts of healing for their team. 75,000 for the Lily, and Brightwing just under 6 figures on healing on that Fairy Dragon. All right, taking a look at talents. I think it's pretty standard. I know you did hit up on the Burning Despair, the Drain Hope build there. That level 40 with the armor is, once you get connected on the front line, is he just lives forever. That's kind of more so like I think the tank Leoric build. Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And Sonya going the Slam build. That seems to be the meta build currently. I still like her old blow up build myself. I'm a Leap Sonya player. You know, I YOLO swag it. I want to live in that back line. I want to remove one player from the back line and just hope my team can trade it out. All right. Anything else we want to look at before getting into game number 2 here? It looks like the lobby is up and ready. All right. Jump back to our beautiful faces here. All right, and then jump in this lobby. So it looks like, okay. While we jump in here, go on the maps. So then the ball was in ALG's court here. They opted for map pick again. They are taking us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. So I like the calls here. Like I'm a big proponent of, I call it the 6th man, but you know, anyone that lives on the West Coast knows Seattle, and they call it the 12th man when it comes to the NFL. But like the home field advantage thing, like for me, I like map pick. There's some really good heroes. I don't think there's anything overly busted at the moment outside of Falstad and in league play. The talents are banned because of it, but if you have a map that your team's comfortable on, you have a strat that you like to do, I definitely think that's kind of like having that extra player in the back pocket. Because we said, you know, there's maps where we're kind of indifferent on, but you know, a map like this, you know, you can have a strat whether you turn in, you wait to get, you know, post 10 to try and get the double turn in. I know my team, we don't really like this particular map because I joke, but like Like, there's that Ricky Bobby, right? I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, my team doesn't know what to do with gems. They just hold on to spider butts and then they go, they go and feed, and then we just don't ever get a turn in. So, um, so we usually ban this particular map. I prefer this map. It's as a drafter for the team, just draft all the wave clear and just hopes that you win. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to your point, there, like you have a map like Infernal Shrines where you have the 4-man rotate, or even Volskaya. Like, I guess Volskaya, you have the camps, and that you can go after. But like this particular map, like you have to defend the turn in, which is usually all around wherever you're rotating. So like you have to interact with, like you said, your enemy opponent. You have to be able to stall, and you have to be able to control that vision. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't. Yeah, I mean, to your point, like on this particular map, I make sure I draft a hero with wave clear and a hero with like boss race or cam clear. So there we go. We do see that Sony gonna get first picked again. Really strong hero currently. But when you're doing the top mid rotations, like a lot of times, you don't really interact in the early game. That like you said, you can take the back alleyway down there, staying out of vision, and grab that camp basically on cooldown. Oh, you're right. Good point. Didn't notice that they opted to ban the diva this time. Thought Ulysses did a great job there, but we do see Ulysses going to go and grab the Sony this time. And there we go. Cael'thas, the namesake of this team, spelled correctly in HOTS, but you know what? He can't spell all the time. So we do see the Johannes. So, 3 wave clear heroes coming out from the side of CCS. So. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So Li Ming could be for the poke and the blow up, but heads up play, they do ban the Anduin. No falling sword light bomb combo. Raynor can do some decent wave clear himself, but they have some options yet. Oh, there it is. I was going to say I would like a Gaslow on the side of CCS since they did lose that Anduin, but Gaslow, Gravo Bomb. But this isn't Gaslow's best map. I mean, he can kind of stall bottom of objective, but like I I would love to see it. Need something. Maybe a Zool. Zool's still on the board here. We can see a 4-man Zool. Add to that wave clear. But no, it's going to be Lunara. So probably that poison damage, I think, for that Brightwing. I think Brightwing just struggles into that periodic damage. because she heals on the turrets, right? So if she just goes and spin, yeah, so she will get healing on that. But yeah, that's a good point, because like the turrets can poke her down a little bit, but she's just gonna spin in the wave and maybe get the stun from the Gazlo, but she'll see that. So I think that might be the play there. You know what? That's as long as it's not a convection. Like that's how I judge people. More so as their level one talent on Cael'thas. But Exterminator Rainer does get picked up here. We do see Hold Your Ground by Johanna. All right, there we go. A man of culture. We do see Mana Addict getting picked up there by the Cael'thas. So let's get into game number 2 here. We do see Ulysses on the Sony this time. Dwarf went ahead and picked up the Johanna. Crush on Rebe himself. Eric Elric, I did see in the chat. It's his first and last name is on that Brightwing. And Kavlor on the Cael'thas this time. That's... Let's go. All right. The real question is that vest keeping my core warm? Absolutely, it is. It got cold up here in the Northeast again, and I'm down in my basement. I don't have walls up yet down here in my man cave office, so it's a little frigid down here. It keeps my teeth from chattering on the mic. Yeah, so I was thinking that CCS would have the rotational advantage coming out here, but Dwarf finds himself in a little bit of trouble. We'll be able to pop the Unstoppable and come out there, and then great Polymorph coming out to disengage any sort of follow-up CC from the ETC there. All right, Crush must be listening to the stream. We do see him taking the back alleys down here to sneakily go ahead and grab this camp. Love to see it, Crush. Love to see it, buddy. And I don't think they know it. I mean, unless if it's called, Gazlo's doing his thing, but more importantly, they're just going to rotate. But they do know now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. I mean, Johanna is the wave clear tank outside of Stitches, but people aren't drafting Stitches for wave clear, even though they did give it to him. But able to not miss at least maybe a half if they weren't there, but able to catch back up with the team there after grabbing that bruiser. So 20 gems. 17 gems away from the first turn in his CCS, and about 15 as well on the side of ALG. But we will see ETC going to go ahead and turn in 18 gems. Squishy boy, Cowboy himself, turn those in, doesn't want to lose them. Ooh, ooh. Mm-hmm. A retired hero, perhaps? This it isn't okay. So we do see the slide and the polymorph coming out. So just trading out here a little bit, we do see the Cael'thas then coming out to catch Azen, but that will be able to sneak on out of there. He's Lucio. It's one hard hero to kill. on that Lucio. So turn-ins not being able to get rid of enough gems. So both teams still have turn-in here, looking for the first 1/7s just around the corner for both these teams as well. Just wait till they figure out 4-man stitches. You know what? Like this particular map where you have to channel or something like where you got to stand still, like any of those capture points. He is semi decent, but I mean, but I think you need something else like CC wise to deal like with stitches because like I said, if they just jump on your backline, you're kind of rendered helpless. It's kind of like it's hard to say, kind of like the I guess the Johanna thing, where I guess she can kind of peel, but like not not until past 10. So I think Asen was a sub in. I don't believe we had Asen in the last game. So he is definitely strutting his stuff out here on this Lucio. The 3-man condemn is going to come out from the Johanna. Cael'thas is just eating this damage for free. That range is not that great on Cael'thas until 20 when you can get the increased range on that flame strike. But we do see the Web Weaver is going to get the good portion, if not, yep, does get all of the wall here. Nice trade there on that first turn in by ALG. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how much experience did they get, on that wall versus, what they gave up 1 or 2 waves there, to your point, in the mid lane there. First turn in, usually for me, I like to put a lot of priority on the mid wave here. It can really grant vision if you can get the wall, if not more than that, because it gives you vision of both of these bushes here, and you can kind of control the turn-ins. Got some good clenchings going on all already. But here we go. Turn in now for the side of CCS. Let's see what they can do with this particular one. But out comes the slide and the counter polymorph. But Cael'thas losing half his health in one shot there. Does need to back up. But yeah, just Lunara doing a crazy amount of damage here in game number 2. All right, so we do see the pressure coming out here. The Dwarf does step up. The Polymorph is going to come out onto that UTC in the back line, most likely looking for a mosh pit, but we do have the Wrath of the Berserker does get picked up by Ulysses, chasing down AZN, but out comes a Hyperion to get some pressure out onto this front wall. He is still holding his level 10. Is he trolling us? There we go. It is a high 5 player. Here we go. And the Web Weaver does step up with a bit of this Hyperion and a good chunk coming out of this top fort here by this... Oh man, and the Blessed Shield does come out, connecting onto 4 members of ALG. Great disengage there by the Dwarf, but they are not done yet. Ulysses does get jumped on, gets booped back from AZN. Down goes Sonya, and they are not done. Dwarf is in the sights. We get those Leeming resets. That thing is nightmare fuel. I hear that sound in my sleep, and ALG is now pogging here. Going to go ahead and get the triple kill off of that turn-in. Yep, absolutely. So no turn in available for the side of CCS. We do see Bellows is going to step up here, see if they're taking this camp out from their noses, but it's not going to happen. Lucio rotates up, going to push that wave back out as they look for their second turn in of the game here. Yeah, I mean they have the team fight, right? Like so, CCS has drafted all of the wave clear to pick up the spider butts, but if they can hold on to those spider butts, hey, they ain't got nothing to do with a turn in. But yeah, so they do get the first fort of the game. Both teams rotating to grab their bruiser camps here, and let's see what they want to do with a turn in. We do see Bellows going to go ahead and turn in the 14. So if he can get this channel off, they will get this. Both lanes are pushed out. All right. Get some of that passive XP now. 13s are online for. Let's see. We're going to see Hoedown. Go ahead and start that channel. Out comes the Gravity Lab's not going to be able to connect on the Lunar. She is just going to laugh and hop all over that Cael'thas, pressure his life pool. Out comes the slide. The high five does come out onto Hoedown. The chase is on, but just a lot of poke damage coming out here from both these teams. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Yeah, I like this here. Maybe looking to see if they will rotate up here to clear top. That's where most teams put most of their pressure. Great patience coming out from Ulysses there, but they will show on that wave. But yeah, to your point, I think it's usually like movement speed or defensive talents at 13. So that if you're going to fight down a talent here, that's the one that you definitely have the opportunity to. But we see ETC living in this backline again, looking for that mosh pit. Because I don't think he pushed that button yet. All right, absolutely. So we might see Gazlo. He does have to step up for this gravel bomb, though. So maybe that's what they're waiting for is the gravel bomb first, then the slide and the mosh pit. But again, they're holding on to those. We do have the cooldown reduction from Encore at 13 for ETC. So, they have, excuse me, the polymorph, they have the gravity laps, they have Johanna. There's a lot of interrupts on that mosh pit. But, I mean, I think come level 13, you can kind of gingerly just rip that mosh pit, even if it's for like a solo kill. All right, rotating. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is kind of like one of those defensive turn-ins where you do it in hopes just to push your lanes back out if you can win a team fight and then maybe get a little bit extra. But yeah, absolutely, this just kind of pings are coming out here in the mid lane, knowing that they are there. But yeah, to your point, okay, let's get this thing pushed. Web Weavers will push the lanes out, and let's hope for a team fight, and maybe we have enough spider butts to get that double turn in. All right. I think it's up and available. I think they can get that. There you go. We do see rip that, but out comes the Q from the Rainer to cancel that. So no, Hoedown finding himself low in the top part of that lane, does get separated from the Lucio, but will hippity hop her way out of there. So they do get the top keep. Great play by CCS there. I mean, like I said, that was I think best case scenario for them there. They will rotate down here and probably just sneeze on this mid fort. Uh-huh. I'm gonna make Crush. You got some great pictures of your face up on social media, my man. You will have that meme by the end of the night, my friend. I'll I'll definitely have that made for you and over in your DMs. Oh my gosh. Whew. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a bloodbath. There was just gems scattered everywhere, like it was New Year's Eve. And yeah, to your point, like went pyromaniac at 13, so he was getting the cooldown reduction while those things are ticking. Had him on 3 members, so just getting all of that craziness. And he's sitting on 41 gems, so that's just a massive shield he gets in these team fights now. So CCS rotating up here into the top lane, gonna push here with the boss, maybe looking to end here. Once the end, well, if they get any picks here, they could look to end the series. But you know what, this boss is starting to get chunked down already. Mm-hmm. Apparently, you've never seen my team play. But no, these teams are very disciplined. We do see CCS rotating out of here, not sticking around too long, like we see most teams, not fighting down or on an even talent tier before 20s. They will hit 20s before ALG, and they are about 20 gems shy of another turn in, and way ahead of ALG in the turn in race as well. KTOP in the chat from Weary Day. You know it. This is the well, I think these players are plat players, so usually that's the silver gold OP hero for sure. But like even in this talent here, you get rooted in one particular place, and that living bomb can just spread for days. Kavlar can spell. You darn right he can, and he's just rocking it currently on that Cael'thas. Let's see some damage. All right, so Lunar is top hero damage. We only saw 40k, but I guess if those living bombs are killing people, versus the Lucio heals. But yeah, Lunar rocking that damage. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah. Gotta get that money. Mm-mm. Yeah, that is the nice point on this particular map. Is even you are behind you are getting at least a little bit of an advantage with gaining the objective, the gems, and it puts the enemy on your side of the map. So if they do happen to rotate poorly, you can get a pick here. But yep, 20s are now online. We are an even talent tiers, and turn-ins now available for CCS. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think we see an invade here. I think that's exactly the play that they need to do. We're going to see Bello slide in here. Out comes the shield. We do see Gaslow going to get canceled on that Gravo bomb, but Cael'thas gets removed from the world. Out comes the high fives. We are getting stunned in here into this pit. Dwarf finds himself low. Eric does blink on out of there, but Crushinator is go. That is a triple kill, a quad kill in favor. Ulysses is not long for this world either, and that is a 5-man team wipe in favor of ALG, and that's what they needed. They're going to go ahead and take this bruiser camp, and let's see if they just turn it mid and try and end game number 2 here. We're going to a game 3. I guess that's what we get for pooping on their comp here in the beginning of the game, right? Like they're out here playing. They brought in AZN, and he was just out here pogging on that Lucio. Absolutely, I am super hyped. We get a game 3 between these two teams. Absolutely. We got all the wave clear. Now we need a little bit more whiskey. And that's that's what we're doing here. So let me update the stats here. Make sure that my board is all nice and good. So now the ball is over in CCS's court now. You know, do they take first pick or do they opt for a map pick of their own? We did see map pick both times coming out from the side of ALG. So we saw one team fight map and we saw one macro map. So, you know, I don't know if they favor one or the other, but I definitely think CCS in game 1, their macro game was a little bit better. So, you know, Garden of Terror is off the board, but we maybe see a Ultirac pass. Mm-hmm. 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 No. It's still up there, and that's usually the NGS special. I think as long as I can remember it, I think that's the most played map every single season in NGS. It's very few people hate that map, and you know it's a select few, and you know what to do with those people that hate that map. But I'm with you. I'm one of those teams that loves Infernal Shrines. I have a particular strat that I'd like to do on that map. Just get yourself a good double soaker in the off lane, and you can win the game. Mm-hmm. It sure does, absolutely. But so here we go. The lobby is up. So this is another one of those maps that has that 6th-man possibility, and we'll get to that here in a moment. But take a look here at the stats. Sonya owning all of the hero damage on the side of CCS there. Slam build Sonya and getting that XP soak. So Ulysses just really trying to do the best they can to hard carry that team. But I think MVP in that particular game was going to be that Lucio. 80k healing done, no deaths at all, and just really pogging out there with the high fives. Yeah. Hey, listen, man, I will let you play Lucio any day of the week. I mean, I'd like to rotate it in. I do draft for our team, and our healer is also our shot caller, but he finds Lucio so I don't want to say difficult to play, but he has to concentrate so hard to play Lucio, with the positioning and trying to move and especially on a healer like that, because like our healer is from actually Australia, so the ping, that's probably way easier than hitting any sort of skill shots. But yeah, he has to like I'm just picturing him like tongue out, like concentrating like real hard on playing Lucio. And like that was when I played. Yeah, like that was my healer, Lucio and Mercy. When I played Overwatch, I was a filthy Overwatch player before I came to HOTS. And I was a healer main, low diamond, but just healing my butt off, and it was the way to go. Yeah. All right, so I will let them know that the casters are ready. I will jump from us to the map picks. So it did look like Cael'thas Can't Spell wanted to go with that first pick again. Worked for them in game number 1. But we do have Dragonshire, as you hear, going to jump back right over here. These teams are ready to get into game number 3. But we are going to Dargonshire. Love this map. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And you run a bottom. You never take that Dragon Knight top. That's the bridge of death. It can work. You can take one early up there to give your off lane a little bit of an advantage in the later ones. But to your point, I love triple bruiser on this particular map, especially with a Sonya who can rotate and grab camps. She can hold the lane in bottom if your 3-man's doing something else on the particular map. But this particular map, I love a triple bruiser. So we do see Ulysses going to go ahead and draft D.Va. We did see that in game 1 where Cael'thas Can't Spell did run that triple frontline comp. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, love to see it. And you definitely need wave clear up there. There's nothing I love more if he's someone who thinks they're going to pog on Imperius and then you just shove a bruiser at him and he's up there for an eternity trying to clear that lane. And we got the raid coming in from Bala. Bala, hopefully your games are well, sir. Love to see it, man. Glad you're here. Hunter Dragoon, glad to see you, buddy. And we got Goon on the mic. That's right. We got Goon here tonight on the mic. Love it. So from both these drafts so far, game 1 have reminiscent of game 1 coming out from the side of Cael'thas Can't Spell, but on the side of ALG, we're seeing what we saw last game. Both these teams won with these style of comps, and I think that's what they're going to kind of stick with. That's it. Yep. Oh yeah, like I said, unless if you're just lucky that he whiffs that Entomb. If not, you're done for. But okay, we see Diablo getting picked up here this time. We did see the May get banned. So they did learn their lesson from game number 1. Those ice walls were pretty oppressive. But I like the Diablo pickup here as well. Yeah, and I definitely think, well, that's so no swaps there. So Wolfman Jack has been playing in the off lane, but we might see Deathwing in the 4-man. I like the Deathwing 4-man there. And they can rotate pretty easily and safely to get the double soak there with that Lucio. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So like I said, with that Rainer there, like we got a lot of camp takers. They can kind of sneak away and grab camps and keep that macro pressure. But game number 3 on the left hand side in the blue trunks, we have for CCS. We have the dwarf rocking that pink Diablo skin. Eric Elric on the Brightwing, Ulysses on the Diva, Crushinator on Rebe, and Kavlor back on Sonya. Oh yeah, yeah, can't forget that. All right, so taking a peek here at level 1, we do see Dragon Soul is going to get picked up here by the side for Deathwing here. So we may see that melee build. Like you said, it's really melee heavy on the side of CCS, so we might see that Incinerate build coming out instead of the Q build. All right, taking a peek up here at the top lane. We do see Ulysses losing a lot of health, but as I take a peek here in the top lane, down goes Jaina. Yeah, so she didn't even go globes. She went chill at 1. So like it wasn't even like she was like inting for the globes, which I usually do on Jaina. I just want to get that thing done and over with. Oh, I am a pleb, can't see game. My fault. We were just talking about the hype, and I forgot to switch the scenes here. So not missing up there too much. Big B in the chat, love to see it. What's up? Hopefully you are well. But we can see Dax, Hunter, it's not good enough. All right, so both these teams, I'll go ahead and grab camp. Not a problem, just doing their due diligence, getting the waves here. So my curious is, I think games are won or lost here on Dragonshire. Like I said, do you want to see siege damage? I want to see teams soak the mid lane because I think that the games are won or lost there. But out comes the Diablo combo. Belos getting awfully low. Sonya is in here spinning to win, but in comes Wolfman Jack on that big bad dragon and chasing off the side of CCS there. All right, so continue down here on the bottom. We do see Dwarf and Belos just frontline trading here, but the pressure onto Dwarf's health pool, the poke coming out from Jaina is real. They're going to have to deal with that Giants camp pushing there, and we do see Wolfman Jack going to go ahead and just maybe try and channel this DK. Sonya is here to deal with that, but the Sonya is going to come out on the Sonya. She's going to spin to win, and I think so, even pre-16, I think Sonya wins this trade. Right, he can get in the protector, he can get in the Dragon Knight, but you can't really deal with him any other way. It's just kind of like, eh. All right, but we do see Hoedown does get that channel back up at the top, but we do see Ulysses going to go ahead and pop that Diva Bomb to pressure his health pool and get that top back. But just in time, the Polymorph out onto the ATC. He does slide his way out of there, but this team's doing a great job just back and forth with these control points. All right. And then Hoedown needs to be careful. Does get stunned out of his fist, but needs to be careful. He did take Aussie and Renewal, so I like that talent at level 1. But yeah, unfortunately, he needs to do that, and then he is stuck in the air, I think, for at least 12 seconds before the cooldowns of the flight back down, and then it's another 8 seconds after that to be able to use any abilities. So that crazy boot onto that Lucio, though. I like the positioning from the Dragon Knight here to, just lessen the tower aggro shots from the teams here, but in comes the slide from ETC. The follow-up sun's coming out from the Deathwing there and the Flame Breath, so a lot of damage coming out. Dwarf finds himself low, and we're just see AZN getting real aggressive, but Dwarf says, not today, eat this wall for me, and he does get out of there with his life, and making quick work of that Dragon Knight. They got half a wall down here. Yeah, it's a good counter to the Lucio, right? Like, he's already positioned, and you kind of, as a Diablo player, you kind of lick your chops at a Lucio. But at the same time, like, you gotta seal a deal on that kill, or he's just kind of gonna skate away. Has a straight, he can jump off, and just kind of laugh at you. Yeah, he will be able to sustain like crazy. No blinds to deal with him, but they got some hard CC coming out there. Just going straight heals, but he opted for Diabolical Momentum versus Malevolence, which, again, like you said, it's a toss-up between those two talents. I think I prefer just the healing on the auto attacks versus the cooldown. All right, absolutely. So Hoedown is trading well into Ulysses. Still, he does have the mech, but you got to be careful. You are fighting into that Bruiser up there in the top lane, and we do see a push coming out from the side of ALG here, but Sony is going to jump into the backline, does pop Berserker, does land the stun out onto Balos. Out comes the Polymorph, but does slide out of there. Out comes a Fear from Wolfman, the boot coming back from Lucio as well, but he snakes on out of there with 300 health. I don't know how many Deathwings I've seen die when they try and get that particular mover. Still gets the slow. We out here hoeing it for a hoedown. Great rotation coming out from Leoric there. Does give the the top channel and a little bit of his wall. And I think Diva may make a play for the fountain. Nope, we'll go for the full wall here. But in comes a hoedown, looking to pressure back this Diva a little bit. Let's see. We should have the bottom capture from red team perhaps. ALG looking to get this, but we do have Deathwing sitting here in the middle to cancel any channeling that they try and do. Love to see it. Love to see it. Wants to heal off of that Diva, I think, a little bit here. That doesn't have to get off of that point, but here comes Cavalier. Does not land the spear. Does pop Berserker, so we'll be able to kind of get the cooldown on any sort of CC that's going to come out onto Sonya, as well as get some extra damage. But in comes the Apocalypse from the Deathwing. The Flame Breath does come out, but not going to be able to connect to anybody. But they do get the wall here. Absolutely. So we do get to see the first Dragonite for ALG gonna get picked up here. They are looking at this mid fort. They got the fountain here. We do see the boombox coming out from Lucio. I like that play here on this particular map, but Cael'thas does get caught out here a little bit, but does spin to win, does spin on out of there. We do see Mark Zombie coming in with another Pog raid. Welcome, my friend. Hopefully your games went well. We are in a game number 3 here between Cael'thas, Cant, Spell. Cael'thas getting wailed on by the Dragonite. Did he have the kick up? No field goal deaths for Cael'thas there. So well done there. But getting a fort, first structure of the game, going over to ALG. I'm glad we can provide the strats to these teams, but we're going to see the APOC going to come out. ETC does skate around that, but out comes the Ring of Frost. Not connect anymore, but Cael'thas is awfully low from all of that Jaina damage. Hoedown is not done. Does chase down the Sonya. Now jumping on Crushing, they're pushing him into the backline, but over here on the other side of the team fight, Ulysses does get stunned and Mosh Pit out of the Diva Bomb. Great job from Bella, so recognizing that Diva had the out if she needed it. Hoedown living here in the backline at 200 health, but unfortunately Lucio not having enough of that burst healing to keep him alive through all that damage, and that is a 1-for-2 trade in favor of ALG here as they pressure this bottom fort here. I think he could have lived there. He was looking at 3 players, but he would have had to march onto the fort. So positionally, I think he would have been okay. So I'm not sure if he had E up, because that's probably the play I would have went for, is maybe popping that, getting the healing, and then just maybe Eing as quickly as possible. As I say, he went Spectral Leech here because like his Leorc in, I don't know if he played Leorc in the other game or not. I'm trying to think in the last game, but where was that game 1? I think it was game. No, they went Gaslow game 2, so he went Leorc game 1 with all the suck talents, but he went for the N2. Yep, they saw the Skyfall. They knew Deathwing was up in the air, so they were going to have to wait probably a little bit before he could jump down in here. But on those particular points, out downs comes the Deathwing, does have his armor plates up, but holding bot very well. But we do have all 5 members down here in the bot, so Leorc is going to be able to clear that top wave. But out comes the pressure onto Deathwing. He does get blown up. Out comes the APOC to kind of disengage. Out comes the Boop as well, but they are not done. CCS once a part of this fort, and out pops the Hyperion from the Rainer here, and they are well on their way, and I think they get this. Yep, so we got Giant Slammer. Yeah, we got Giant Slammer now at 16 by the Sonya there. And, Paint Them Red by the Rainer. So, I mean, it's just a lot of burst damage coming out there. But there you go. Leorc does go ahead and pop March of the Black King out onto Cael'thas, topping himself back off. The chase is on. The Hypershift is going to come out, but it is not going to hit in time. And that is a pick onto the Sonya there. All right, and just trading out here into Ulysses, and unfortunately, just Devo did go the healing on the auto attacks there, so makes it real tough for Leorc to kind of trade into the Diva here, outside of just keeping his Drain Hope alive. But he does have the spell damage here, so we'll be able to pressure some of this top fort. Oh. Oh man, no one can cheat death except for York and Diablo. So Diablo is back, but he is a baby. So both channel points are in favor of CCS at the moment. Diablo does come back, but both teams down 2 members for another 20 seconds here. So we do see Leoric go ahead and run bottom, cancel any sort of backdoor dragon capture, and then Hoedown rotates here to try and save the fort down here bot if he can. And we see King fishing around here. Does not have the cooldown reductions, but Jaina, I think, can usually rip a camp by herself in about 11, 12 seconds. So should be able to make quick work of this as Hoedown looks to cancel a channel. Maybe the team is calling that they're on it, but we do see the bottom channel going over in favor of CCS here. Cael'thas spinning a win on the Bruiser camp. Got to get some more pressure up here in that top lane. But he has Death Mosh. Oh my goodness, another 5-man team wipe from ALG here, and I want to see what they want to do. Jaina is going to go into this. I'm not sure if that's the call. They do need to clear top, but I don't think so. I think they can look to at least get a keep here. I do like the Leoric going in this. Jaina does a ton of siege damage, so looking for a keep and potentially, I don't think they end here. I honestly don't think they end here. I think the death timers are in favor of the CCS there, and unfortunately, like, the wave was partially about pushed back. But you know what, Dragon Knight. All right. Yeah, to get the pick on that Brightwing was huge. A heartbreaking fight there for sure on the side of CCS there, but yeah, that was just tough to be be able to just remove the healing at the beginning of that fight. Was a really good play by Jaina there. Yeah, absolutely. These teams just played their hearts out, killed each other for our viewing pleasure. But this one, there's definitely some just really good plays. We got to see some buzzsaw or guillotine Zul'jin, and just some good back and forth between these teams. Hopefully, we get to see them play again, maybe in the playoffs. But yeah, I'd like to see the second coming of these teams here. But take a look here at some of the stats. Pretty evenly spread between the hero damage, just between Raynor and Leoric. Leoric just absolutely owning every stat category for his team there. Hoedown, just looking for that Hoedown. All right. No, he held 10 for an absolute insane amount of time, as well as the level 20. So maybe if we get Hoedown in an interview, we can just ask him, why he's holding those talents. I mean, they ended up getting the pick without him having rotating and having the Entomb. But I think because they hit 20. I think 20s came online on that last team fight. So he would have been able to pick something, but I think he was too busy just hitting March of the Black King in that team fight to select anything. In that point, they just kind of He just jumped into Dragon Knight and it's like, we don't need 20s where we're going. All right, so let's update the scoreboard here and jump back to our lovely faces so we can see all of Goon's fans and family members here in the chat. And let's see if we can get an interview. All right. Jump into Div C. But yeah, if you had to have an MVP of the series there, who would you? Who do you think you'd pick there? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can't see again. There we go. Yeah, sorry, my pop-up window got minimized there and all that good old fun stuff. So there he is. I told him earlier when we first linked up there, the most handsomest man in the Nexus. Dax Hotz with the fancy haircut. Yeah, finally, I was finally able to squeeze in. I know I was trying to get a haircut for the last 2 weeks, just booked up every single day I can get in there, but just finally, for me, my hair grows so fast that once it touches my ears, I can't get past that. When I was younger, I had hair a little bit shorter than yours, but yeah, I can't do it anymore. Once it touches the ears, I gotta shave it off. Listen, I do not. Yeah, you know what? Well, that's the thing. I usually wear a hat then, right? I'm usually complaining and moaning and groaning. I'll grow the beard though. I grow the beard out, and that keeps you a little bit warm in the wintertime. Okay, so it looks like we will have Hoedown and Azen. So they are in the lobby. So the Hoedown and the Lucio player. So we get to jump in there and interview the two of them. All right. All right, we have is it Azen, AZN, and Hoedown. AZN. All right, lads. Well, GG's. Well played. Congratulations on the victory. All right, Goon, do you want to start off? Any questions that you have here to start us off? Well, Goon was calling for the MVP. He's like, we're about to see make or break AZN here with his level 10 talent. Like this, he called it. He's like, this will decide the game with this level. All right, and Hoedown, my man. Game so we'll start back at game number 1 then, but just just questioning the March of the Black King on the Dragon Shy there. We saw you flank it in there. We thought you were going to hit the Entomb. You didn't even have a level 10 picked yet, but you had opted for March of the Black King. Just curious about that pick up there.
So I was thinking about how a lot of the team fights went in these 2 games, and I was assuming it's going to be something of a similar sort where tanks are going to get focused, and the best way to stay alive in those situations is definitely March.
Yeah, absolutely, and and I think you guys scouted it out pretty well. The way they started drafting Game 3, really similar to Game number 1. So I do like that May ban there coming out. So going back to Game number 1 on Cursed Hollow. Did you guys have a strategy? Because I think you guys opted for. I think you guys got map pick in all 3, I believe.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. So did you have a strategy going to Cursed Hollow? Usually that's a map that most people pick. If they have something like if they want to run Vikings or a different strat.
I totally blame my team for that one because I just was a little late, and they just messed
Hey, the captain's not here. We can just poop all over him. I love it. All in good fun, though. Yeah.
Yeah, they delegate me to someone.
Hey, you're not responsible for what comes out of your mouth. I like it. I say the same thing, but unfortunately, I'm the captain for my team as well, so that kind of sucks.
I do have a question about like how do you decide whether to suck or you just like what are some of the indicators?
See, I don't think I've ever had the option of sucking in New York. I don't think that's a real thing. But like it honestly depends on team comp when you go any build in New York. It's all team and matchup dependent.
What are some of the things that you
Now, see, I feel like you're trying to get me to sell my trade secrets.
All right, yeah. So yeah, we don't want to spill all of the details here.
To find out my tips and trips, you gotta support my OnlyFans and my Patreon.
Oh, we I don't know if I could say, it, but we could suck. We sucking out here sucking on the York on those OnlyFans. But yeah, so moving on to game number 2, and that was a really back and forth map. But just curious on how the comms were at level 20 in that invade there on the Bruiser camp on their side that actually ended up winning you guys the game.
So, quite classically, I had a great partnership with one of our other players. It's like, oh my gosh, look at this. This is where they are. We need caves. They haven't won a fight with our caves because that's how they play. It's like, oh my god, you're right. Let's go. Yeah, and then we rolled up with the KT, and it was kind of like,
Yeah, I mean there was that one, that KT, like there was that one just heartbreaking team fight where like I think both teams lost. I think both of you guys lost your gems, but that living bomb spread was just it was insane and kind of swayed the momentum back in their favor. But you guys were patient. I commend your patience there because I think a lot of teams, I think aren't as patient and they get in that high stress situation where they think they need to fight now to make or break, win or lose. And you guys were just patient and waited till 20 and were able to win that post 20 team fight.
yeah, I can tell it takes a lot. I can tell you that it takes a lot more than that to shape the 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
One of us will be very quick.
Well, that's also a thing. It's just like the comms, like I said, like teams that have played together have that continuity. They're a little bit more chill, but one bad team fight can really sway and tilt a lot of players and a lot of teams. So, but yeah, you guys did really well in game number 2.
Appreciate that.
Goon, any questions about game 2 from you, sir?
No, I saw Gazlo off
Mm-hmm. Right, I didn't suck. That wasn't me. All right, and game number 3, Dragonshire. You guys rotated very well on that particular map, and it kind of came down to that again, that bottom team fight post level 20. Hoedown again, just waiting on holding the 20 talent. I mean, did you just know you won the team fight, and then you're just like, I'm gonna go hop on the dragon. I don't need to pick a 20.
I mean, it's the biggest selection.
That's true. All right, yeah, absolutely.
I am curious though about that. Was Pete calling out that he had, or was everyone just surprised when he lose?
I think this is one of those situations where like all these things happen in the moment. And that moment passed, and now it is erased.
Fair. I mean, I barely remember what happens in the game, like the games that I play, let alone cast. But yeah, like it was like a.
Very intense, very focused in on what happens, and you're only focused.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that surprised Jaina. You don't see that one very often. Usually she's pretty squishy, and see it.
Funny because it was the squishiest person on our team surprised out of the bush. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because without ice block, she just kind of melts and kind of gets herself caught out. But just did a great job targeting the healer there. But no, I think that will be the end of my questions. Goon, did you have any more, sir? All right. So before we let you lads go, any shout outs?
No, we good. Yeah. I'd like to shout out to
Absolutely, absolutely. But all right, lads. Well, again, congratulations. Enjoy the victory, and we hope to see you next time. Yep. Hey, you too. See ya. All right, so we will call Papa Goon back here. Give him a few shout outs if he wants them. Tell the people who he is, where he can be found, if you can't find him. But there he is. All right, Sir Goon, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I absolutely had a blast. Hopefully we can get to work together. Yeah, hopefully get to work together again. It was real chill. Had some good times, some whiskey and some wave clear, as we like to call it here. And but before I let you go, sir, if the people in the chat don't know who the heck you are or where they can find you or what you're doing, man, how about you let them know for us? All right, absolutely. Wildheart, one of the best orgs to follow in CCL. But no, glad to have you here. Really good time. Honored to have you here. But as for me, Dax_Hots, you found yourself here. If you like Salty Storm League or Casted Heroes of the Storm, this is where I'm at. Dax_Hots. I'm a memer, so if you want to follow me on Twitter there as well, post a lot of memes, share a lot of memes. Always looking for that good time. But again, thanks for everybody coming out here with the raids and the follows. Just love to build that community. Love the HOTS community here. So we will look to send somebody else to keep up that love in the NGS here. Someone else that's casting. But again, just thanks to Goon and these teams for putting on a show for us. And we will see you next time.